Hey guys, so this is gonna be the XOT 1 minute Blitz China Open. So I was invited to this event from some of the friends in China playing Othello, and basically I understand from them that they've been running this tournament for the last couple of months on a monthly basis. So for those of you who don't know what an XOT is, it was actually created, I think, initiated by Matthias Berg from Germany, where he actually started a software with randomized openings for at least the first eight moves. So what you get at the end of the first eight moves is a fairly even position within a plus minus two range of rating. So, but the sequence that actually results in that position could be quite a huge number of varieties as compared to the usual book openings that you might see in a normal opening game. So, for example, black could initially place a move at maybe minus 14, and then white just plays a minus 18 move. And at the end of the first eight moves designed by the program, you would then result in a fairly even position for both players to start playing to. So when you see the first round begin, you would see an initial position with a few moves already being made. So this being a 1 minute tournament is going to be a blitz tournament. So I think there are about almost 30 participants today, and I think most of them are basically from China. So it should be a fairly interesting tournament because some of the times you would actually get a random opening. Even though it's an even position, it could be very challenging to actually play out that position in order to make your way into the mid game in a fairly even position. You could easily actually just drop the advantage to your opponent. So this should be pretty exciting. So I'll look forward to seeing you at the start of the tournament. So before we actually hit into the tournament games, I think I would like to share with you perhaps a few tips for general blitz tournaments and also specifically for XOT, being a random opening. So maybe just five tips that I'd like to share with you. So the first tip being that you actually should probably avoid capturing edges if it's possible, because once you've captured edges, you basically have to look out for a lot more lines, and most of your moves on the next couple of free spaces might be actually quite risky and poisoned. And of course, the second point is you should try to play more mid-game prevention moves so that your opponent cannot take obvious good moves that they plan or anticipate to play to. So if you play either a prevention move or a taking his move kind of move, you would actually then force him to recalibrate and rethink how the game should be played out. And of course, the third point is that you could probably choose to vary the pace. If the opponent is playing too fast, you can play an irregular pace, like stopping somewhere in the middle to break his rhythm. And of course, if your opponent is playing slow, you can actually play fast at certain key moments with a little bit more anticipatory action. And the fourth point is that you can probably try to play unexpected moves in the end game to probably surprise your opponent in the case where you or him might be actually short of time. And that will probably gain you some time. And of course, the last point that I'd like to share is perhaps you could actually pause, just give a short pause if you're playing black just before you play out your first move for the XOT opening. Because it's a random opening, you may not be familiar with it, so you might actually want to take a pause, maybe maximum between 5 to 12 seconds to actually decide on your first move and your route of advancement. So with that in mind, I'm going to embark on this China Open tournament. So good luck to all participants. Okay, so we're paired with our opponent. So opponent's playing black. So right now, going right into the game. So probably the opponent might play over here to centralize. Let's see how that goes. Maybe he's experiencing a bit of internet lag. Okay, so he's played the first move. Let's play a centralizing move. Okay. Let's just do a little bit of line control over here. Then we'll just play right on the back end of this. Okay, he probably plays a line control for this mini diagonal. jump in to gain back that access right in. Okay. So over here, let's try to go for this move perhaps. So just targeting the regroup over here. Okay, so this round I win by 4 feet as the opponent has a bad internet connection and seems like he can't seem to connect at least, so that's probably like a walkover. Okay, so now we're going for round 2 with this code word. Let's go for the pair up. Okay, so now we're paired up, we're playing black. Let's take a quick look at the position. So we'll try this move for all direction line control over here with this single disc. See how that goes. Okay, so opponent has played that move. We'll just jump right into the center, occupy that position. Let's go to the center again, ditching this disc. Again, slightly more favorite to the center over here. Play a quiet move. Probably expecting this move now. Okay, cut over here. Let's do a line control on this mini diagonal first. You might cut in, but you probably take this move first before cutting in down the line. Okay, we'll cut in for this quick access to regroup. Okay, so he's taken that. Try to take away this move first. Let's occupy this. Running out of options here actually. Just playing a little bit of anticipatory moves here. Trying to cut out for access. So we have that control on this mini diagonal for now. Hopefully that somehow pays off. Okay, so opponent has timed out. So I think that board position would be probably not so great for me, but yep, for this tournament's purpose, if you time out, you basically lose 64-0. So, okay, let's try to probably move on to the next round. Okay, now moving on to round 3. Okay, paired up with the opponent, playing white this time. So let's just look at the shape. Okay, opponent has played that move. Let's see, where should we play? Let's just go to the center, probably cut off the excess, jump in, try to position that disc such that we can find some excess back here. Create that excess back into E2. We'll just jump in again to capture this disc to go in over here. So let's create that excess again. If you place a quiet move over here, we'll take the back end of it, a quiet move. So he doesn't. We'll just take a chip off to the right. Okay, opponent has crossed over. We'll play a quick quiet move down the line into the center. Might play this. Okay, we'll control this temporary line control over here. Expecting this to happen perhaps. Okay, it doesn't go there. We'll jump in and grab it then. Okay, and we'll jump into the center over here. Just regrouping, taking a quiet move on the back end of this newly created quiet move. So let's see. Probably need to anticipate a little bit. Just play the poison move. Play the quiet move over here. Grab the edge. He'll take this. Go for the diagonal control. And he'll probably make some interaction over here. Yes. So he might be grabbing the corner here. Okay, let's just go for this diagonal control and 3 out of 4 or 5 in corner, perhaps. Grab the corner, he'll take this. Then go for this one. Okay, so that was quite an okay win, I guess. So going into round 4. Okay, so we have paired up with an opponent playing as black right now. We'll just jump quickly into the center over here. Okay, opponent has played a fairly loud move. Probably want to remain a little defensive on this end and just make an anchor, perhaps. Just go towards the center. Just making quiet moves. We'll remove this excess somewhat, I guess. Just maintain this diagonal control. Okay, we'll cut over, create this, jump for this excess, control that position. Okay, opponent has played that. We'll play a quick poison move. Attack to the edge. He doesn't take the edge. We'll just wait one move. Okay, we'll go for the excess, establishing these two discs to create access to A6 over here. Take A6. Okay, opponent has actually ignored that position. We'll grab the edge then. Defend the edge. And let's just play a passive move over here. Just wait for that. And right now you have the corner access to D4. And we'll just grab the corner over here quickly. Okay, just grab the edge. So let's grab this edge. Okay, he skips a move. We'll grab for this. Go for the quiet move combo. Just cut down right here for this disc to create the corner access. And we'll grab the corner over here. Grab this. Let's go for this one. To wrap around from the side. Okay, so that's a timeout and we take that win. Okay, we have the 5th round. Probably one of the strongest opponents in China. Okay, so we've paired up against our opponent. Let's see how this match goes. We'll just go in for the center quick move. Let's see. Occupy the center again over here. Just cutting in. Okay, let's grab that center position. Okay, let's poison this move, perhaps. Okay, let's make a quiet move here. Okay, we'll jump down for the 2 consecutive moves, perhaps, for this mini line control as well. Okay, this is definitely one of the tougher opponents for this tournament. So let's see how that goes. We'll just cut out to the poison. Okay, opponent didn't take that position, so we will take it. We'll get this unbalanced edge. So if he doesn't take it, we'll go for this diagonal control in exchange for that diagonal control that he's created. What we want here is this corner excess, so we'll cut it out for that first. And we'll go for it. And he'll slot in. Okay, I can go for this move. Try to defend parity, perhaps. Okay, let's go down here. Okay, lucky win in that position, perhaps. Okay, preparing for round 6 against Fool or Clever. So one of the most up-and-coming Chinese young player. So this should be a very tough match. Let's try this move to cut right into the center to regroup. Let's just go for that reflex move, perhaps. Okay, let's just continue to group into the center. Let's see how that plays out. Okay, opponent has played that. Play a quick move to just keep to the right side and just probably drop that left disc. Okay, let's go for that quiet move. Jump into the center now that this is unpoisoned. Okay, let's cut over here to maintain this diagonal, perhaps. Let's feed the edge for that quiet move into the center. And then we'll go into the center. Okay, let's feed off the edge. Okay, that was an accident. Didn't expect that he would actually play out this move. Probably just a little bit too fast on that position. This move, try to maintain the diagonal control. Cut across to get that, if possible, and just try to make up for that earlier error. Let's go for this. Chip off to the side. Wait for that excess cut, and we'll feed this off. Actually, let's just go for this, perhaps. Capture that. Go for this move. And then we go for this. Sweep down. Okay. So we just try to go for this move. 6-0-0-3-5. We're going for game round 7. So let's see. Okay, so we've paired our round 7 opponent, playing white. So opponent has played right into the center. We'll cut across just to prevent that easy move, perhaps. Let's pull out to the right. So he is still looking for that excess, which would give him that center position. Okay, let's go for this position. So that move earlier might have been a little redundant, actually. Potentially a bit uncalled for. Okay, so now this position seems a little tough. So go out to the right, let's try to draw some moves out, perhaps, if possible. Let's go into the center. Okay, so now he's formed that solid edge to the left. That is our chance to actually try to get some moves, perhaps. Let's see how that goes. So I was probably in a very negative position earlier on. Now it's slightly improved. Try to go for that cut over here into the X square so that we can actually feed off the corner. Okay, so opponent has cleaned off that excess. It's not possible to play that move at the moment. So we'll play an easy, perhaps parity zone. Try to feed off that corner and just force off that position. Okay, so now we have parity back on track in control. 10 seconds to spare. Let's go for the corner for that quick response. Probably grab this first. Make him establish some discs along this side. Seems to have a bit of lagginess over there, but overall still quite a lucky game for me to actually get away with that win, even though the internet slowed a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be the second last round of the preliminaries. Playing against 255, who was a China representative at the last year's World Othello Championship. Definitely a very impressive player to play against. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so I'm prepared. Let's see where to play this first move. It's not going to be an easy game, so we probably want to select our first move a little bit more selectively. Let's see. Let's cut into the center, find that excess over here. Perhaps. Okay, he's actually blocked off that excess pretty nicely. Actually have a difficult position. Let's see this. So we want to look for access to the center. Let's cut out, get the access to both sides over here to form a pair, and also to the center. Okay, so we've played that out. Now looking for access to just regroup over here to this square. Okay, so we'll regroup over here to form that pair. Let's see, let's jump over here, give that quiet move across. Okay. Let's cut out to the diagonal cut over here. Let's chase that excess across. Okay, so he's decided to actually jump in, so we actually have parity over here. So let's just force this. Position. Hopefully we can actually get this nicely cut out. Okay, unfortunately that was a loss. Probably missed the parity position over here, even though was probably leading in that position. Fortunately just got a bit hasty on the parity to the right. On second thoughts over here, I probably should have just played G8 to retain their parity position, and it would have been an easy win. But that's okay. Probably with 7 wins in hand, it should be still a good position to enter the top 4 for the semifinals. Okay, the last round opponent. Let's pair. See how that match goes. So this is the last round of the Swiss pairing, and then we will be going into a best of 3 semi-finals and a best of 3 finals, I believe. Not too sure about the third, fourth placing. Okay, we've paired against an opponent. Let's see how that goes. Okay, this almost looks like a Leader's Tiger opening. So this variation actually looks somewhat familiar. So just jump into the center, control that center position. We'll grab this center, jump in. So it's somewhat all about just cutting into the center. For now at least. Let's see. Let's cut out over here. He might go for that line control. Okay, he doesn't. We'll just take a chip off to the edge, find back that excess into the center. if possible. Okay, he goes for that move. Fairly strong move. We'll cut right into the center. Just make the position a little bit more confusing, if you will. And we'll play something a little bit more adventurous over here. Grab the H. Okay. So over here, let's just chase for that excess, even though it's probably not in my best interest to actually capture the edges too early. So the opponent has actually played out this position very well. It almost seems difficult to play this position. So just jump in over here, go for that control. Okay, now it does seem a little bit difficult. We want to preserve this count, so we probably don't want the time out. So let's just press forward a little bit more for time. Okay, so at least we defended 20 discs. So that was actually a very tough position to play to. So opponent was very strong. Probably one of the largest loss of the tournament. Let's just relook that position again. How did it turn out so badly? Perhaps. Okay, so probably here. Interestingly, this vertical cut actually left the position a little difficult to play too. This cutout was probably a little too adventurous. And of course, this feat here might have been a little bit too simple-minded, if you will. So after 9 rounds of Swiss pairing for the 1 minute XOT China Open to commemorate the Dragonboat Festival of 2020, this is actually the final standings, although there were a total of 28 participants, but I will just flash quickly the top 10 for a quick view. And of course, this tournament is actually a 9-round Swiss pairing, which goes on and follows up with a semi-finals. So my nickname used was Othello Academy. I was fortunate enough to actually get 7 out of 9 wins. And of course, with the typical semi-finals setup, would actually go with the first rank playing against the 4th rank. And for me, being the 2nd rank in the Swiss pairing, I would actually play with the 3rd rank. So let's take a look at the semi-finals. So right now, just moving on to the semi-finals match. Okay, so this is going to be the semi-finals 1. Let's go in for the match. It's going to be a best of 3 match. So let's see how that goes. Okay, we occupy that center position. Let's jump into the head and tail theory. Okay, probably don't want to do this for the quiet move for the opponent. Probably just take a trip to the right. It's quite a strong regrouping move over there. Let's just wrap around it, perhaps. Okay, this is gonna be tough. Speed of the edge. Probably not the best position right now. Okay. Okay, let's go for that next game. So the game looks rather dispersed for black at this position. So we're going for a little bit of extreme line control over here, perhaps. Let's try to go for this one. Okay, so we did get that second game down. Probably losing by red well, so I cannot afford a draw here. I have to win in order to advance to the finals. Let's just try to go for that. That is a very good move. Cut off the excess at the same time, go for that excess. Okay, so right now managed to get into the finals with probably a little bit of opening luck. Let's see how that goes. So my opponent is definitely one of the top players, top few blitz players for sure in China. He's played an excellent tournament. So let's see how this goes. He was the top of the preliminary match with 8 wins out of 9 rounds, and he won his semifinals, 2 of 3. So okay, let's see how this goes. Good luck. Hopefully this doesn't lag. So we'll start off the first game with probably a little bit of a quick strategy. Just trying to blitz out the opening a little bit. Let's see whether that works to our favor. Okay, what we want is actually this disc to cut out over here, perhaps. So if he jumps in, we'll go over here for a quick quiet move. Okay, so he doesn't. We'll just defend the side and just wait for it. Okay, let's just jump in. Okay, we'll go for that quiet move first. Just construct the shape over here, if you will. And then, let's go for this one. Try to construct that position. Okay, situation does seem a little tough over here. Let's just continue with this diagonal control and just try to prevent that move from happening. Okay, opponent has played a fairly defensive move. It is getting a little tight over here. Okay, this position is going to be really tough to play now. Let's just go for the corner access. Try to recapture this. Okay, this game is probably lost, a bit difficult, but let's just try to preserve as many bits as possible. Okay, we'll go for the next game. Hopefully we can get a better position. So definitely trying to probably blitz the opening is not a great idea against a top player. It is a bit more difficult to actually get a favorable position. So let's try to actually work our way through this position, perhaps. Let's go to the center. Okay, let's see this position. Head and tail theory, perhaps. Go to the tail end to get that move. Okay, let's cut into the center and control this center diagonal line. Try to go for consecutive moves, 1 and 2. That makes sense. So he's got that access right into that move over here. So we have to block it first. Let's just jump in over here to this position. Control the center line again. Okay, he's actually gone for the tail end of it, which makes the game a little bit more confusing for sure. So that's a very smart move by him. Okay, let's just try to be a bit more defensive over here, if you will. Okay, so he's definitely going for quite a bit of a defensive approach as well. Let's just go for this move. Try to cut out. Corner attack. So he's short of time as well, and I'm short of time as well. So this position is becoming a little tough to actually handle. Let's try to go for this one. Just try to push for that corner. Feed. Okay, let's go for this. Let's try to move it all the way. He could actually play a diagonal control here pretty well. Okay, so we now have the last game of the best of three match. So this is going to be the decider of the championship match for the China Open. So pretty lucky to be part of this. I'm playing as black. It's going to be difficult, but let's take up the challenge. Let's continue to regroup into the center. Please cut into the center. We'll block off this move because there is no way to actually prevent this from happening. Okay, we'll go for the quick quiet move into the center. Shall we jump in? Let's block out that move first, perhaps. He's gonna go here, perhaps. Let's go for a little bit different. In terms of the excess. Let's go for a poison move. Okay, so that concludes the XOT 1 minute China Open. So even though I named it as China Open, this is actually meant to commemorate the Dragonboat Festival that is ongoing right now. So if those of you who don't know what's the Dragonboat Festival, you can look it up in Google. I believe it's actually meant to remember one of the famous persons of China. I think he might have been a poet and also quite a patriot and done many important contributions to his country. And of course, the legend probably goes something like he committed suicide due to potential corrupt officials, I think, and then he jumped into a lake. And since then, because people want to actually remember him, they actually throw and make rice dumplings and throw it into the river to actually feed the fishes, so the fishes wouldn't actually go and feed on his body. So that, in essence, is actually part of the Dragon Boat Festival and why people make rice dumplings. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed this tournament. So I'll flash quickly the Swiss round pairings and also the final standings. And thank you very much. So with the games that have now ended for the semifinals and the finals, as well as the third, fourth match, this is basically the summary of the results. So in semifinal one, 最菜包子 actually won 2-5-5 with a score of 2-1. And I was also lucky to get away with a score of 2-1 and get through the semifinals. And of course, in the third, fourth match, 2-5-5 actually won full of clever with a score of 2-1. And of course, in the finals, I got really lucky As you know, in the games that was flashed, I got probably pretty lucky in the third game to actually edge out one of the top few players in China, I believe. And of course, the final result is as follows. So I was really lucky to actually get away with the win for the tournament somehow. And this sort of tournament is actually done on a monthly basis by China, and I believe they actually welcome any players to actually join as long as you have their QQ application, and if you join the group and you understand Mandarin Chinese, you would actually be able to participate in that tournament. And of course, some of the individuals who are actually financially more capable are actually providing that sponsorship on a private sponsorship basis. And for the record, I actually got away with, I think, a special. This was a special tournament, so I was actually awarded a total of 200 renminbi. So that's probably equivalent to about 40 Singapore dollars and maybe 30 US dollars. So I think even though it is a token sum, it's still very nice to actually have a token of encouragement from private sponsors. So with that, I conclude the XOT 1 Minute China Open, which is actually in line with the Dragonboat Festival. So see you at the next Blitz Banter episode. Thank you very much.